Welcome back to Anime in 2020 Review Part 2. Yes, now 6 months ago, with my previous laptop and my previous microphone, this bad boy right here, I discussed basically what anime I watched this year. At the time, basically, I decided to do it mainly because I had already gone through 25 series in just 6 months. Since then, I've only gone through 20 series. Yes, a lot of them basically are manga based. Not many light novels to start the year off. Like, basically, where is that thing? Let me open up here. I forgot to open it up, damn it. Yeah, overall, at least 20 series. Now, to start off the year, basically, I watched these following series. I watched Rema Half, Inuyasha, Mermaid Saga, Test Mrs. New Devil, Asakusa Rogue Hero, First Girlfriend's a Gal, Goblin Slayer, My Bride is a Mermaid, My Girlfriend is a Slutty Virgin. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Sororoya, which is the spin-off of the previous series. Witchcraft Works. Excuse me. Dragon Ball Z. My Wife as Student Council President. Konosuba, Isekai Quartet. Sagatan Evil. ReZero, How Not the Seventy Lord. Another Word on My Smartphone. Claymore, Dragon Ball GT, Cautious Hero, and The Help of Fox Sanako-san. Yes, at the time, that was my most recent anime I had finished up. And since then, I've gotten through 20 more anime. Yes, I've gotten through The Rising of the Shield Hero, Amari Himari, Freya, The Quintessa Quintuplets, Shivery Failed Knight, The Love Tyrant, Death March to a Parallel World Rhapsody, Uzuki-chan Wants to Hang Out, Freezing, Dr. Stone, Arya, The Scarlet Ammo, Seraph of the End, Mons Masumi, The Abstract War, Valak's Love, Nanka aka Meow Love, Kuro-sama, Love is War, Trinity 7, which was one of the more recent ones I got through, Yosemite Half Princess Half Demon, and the series I had just finished just yesterday, Monster Go Doctor. Yep, Monster Go Doctor. Now you're probably thinking, really? Only 20 in 6 months? Well, the first 6 months basically at 25. Plus, also this year, I had done 3 rewatches this year. Yeah, 3 shows I basically rewatched to do reviews for. One I've not finished up yet. The first one I did it for was One Piece. Now, technically, you could say for Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. For these three, it kind of was a rewatch because I've seen the series before. But the thing is, before this year, I had never reviewed it before. Yeah, I never have. So I figured, though, I never used these series before because the only thing Dragon Ball related I have reviewed is Super and like Broly and like one of the movies. One of the movies. That's all I reviewed prior to this year. And also this year, this is quite a shocker, even for me. I bought a lot of light novels this year, and this is just in just this year alone. Prior to this year, there was a couple light novels on my shelf. All my most of my light novels I have, not not every single one per se. It's actually some that are related to actual anime I've watched or based on manga. Now, these are some of the first ones I got this year. This is from the series Cautious Hero. Now, this is basically the first 4 books. Book 1, Book 2. These 2 books were adapted for the first season of the show, which I have not heard anything of there's going to be a second season of the show. Book 3 and Book 4. Yeah, 4 books. 5th book is already released. Yep. Now, there is also the series of Freya. Yes, of Freya. This is most of the light novels. I say most because I don't have Book 1 and Book 4, but this is most of them. We have Book 2. I should also point out these books are really thick. They're really long to get through. Yep. We also have Book 3. And starting with this book, I basically was buying them. Though next book, I had to originally read this book online before I actually got the actual physical book. We have Book 5. This book I originally read online because here's kind of the strange thing. Amazon took this off the website for some reason, and Barnes Noble didn't have it. And Walmart Clinic didn't have it either. So, and then eventually I saw they put this book back on Amazon. So I decided, get it. Yep. And this is by far the only book I had to read from book to book. I had to read this online in order to read this book. I also have book 7. Yep. Now, at the time, basically, when I was reading these books, book 7 was technically the most recent book released. Actually, this book right here was the most recent book released. Yes, book 8. This book is thick, really thick. This book is like almost 460 pages. This damn book is. It is that damn thick. And these next two books were actually the two most recent books released. We have book 9, and finally book 10. Yep. So this is pretty much 8 of the 10 light novels released in the series. Excuse me. Yes, there's actually one more release in Japan, but that book, believe it or not, is not going to be released here until April. And technically, there is book 12 coming out, but that's not coming out until June. Um, I also want to point out, though, recently I did buy this book, why not? It's really good. I haven't read this yet. Afria Zero. Yep, I got the prequel series to Afria. Why not? I do also own one book for the Aztec War series. I haven't read this book yet, but I will soon. Yes, I've got a lot of light novels, so there's that. Okay, I have, well, mostly the first 10 books. Here is basically the first 7. Book 1, Book 2, Book 3. Fun fact about these 3 books. These books were actually for the anime. And then, of course, well, there we have Book 4, 5, 6, 7. This is as far as I've read with the series. Yes, I do also. I haven't read these books yet. Book 8, Book 9, and Book 10. You're probably thinking, why did I stop buying at Book 10? Because Barnes and Noble only had the Book 10. That's the simple gist of it. Mm-hmm. Yes. I also got. Now, I don't own the first 9 books of the series, but I do own books 10 to 14. 10. You probably saw this book before because I talked about this book because basically this book, and this book, book 11, were adapted for season 3 for the show along book 9. Now, these 3 books basically, at the time, now book 15 has been released. I don't have it yet, but I probably will get it soon. I do have these books. Book 12, which is pretty average length. This book, 13, is the shortest book of the entire series. Yeah, this book is really, really short. If you're curious, though, it's only just, and this is no joke, this book is 211 pages. Now, the reason why the book is so short is because the writer uh, basically went in here to have a big epic conclusion to this trilogy of just basically. That's one thing interesting though about this writer. Every 3 books is kind of a story arc in a way, like in the case what they did for season 3. The 3 books they adapted for season 3, that's all like one story arc, the Xenos arc. And here's the most recent book for the series. This book was released just 1 year ago. Yeah, just last year, and the 15th book just came out just this month. Yes. This book, if you're curious though, this is the longest book of the whole series. This book is exactly, if you take out the afterword for this book is 417 pages. Book took me a while to get through. Oh God, yes. And yes, I got more. I also have the book series, in other words, on my smartphone. Now, these book series I actually started buying with this book. Book 4. The reason being because I read the first 3 books already. I didn't realize though at the time when I got them. I knew this book for short, but I did not know the book size, the physical book itself, was shorter than, let's say, of Freya. I mean, take a look, let's say, look at the size of these books. This book is tiny, and this is published by a different company. Yeah, this is published by Seven Seas. This is published by J Novel Club, which are a very good publisher, by the way. Yes. Now, aside book 4, I also have book 5, 6, 7, 8, which this is the book also that Leah, basically the immortal fairy, this is where she proposes to Tatsumi. Yeah, that's where she proposed. Toya. Yeah, it's where this book where she proposes to him, and she becomes his next fiance. Yeah, not the last one per se, but basically, it seems like each book for the first like 10 book from basic book 3 forward, it seems like though he was getting more and more fiancés because he was destined to marry 9 women. Now here's the thing. Now he's engaged to two of his sisters, and two of his 9 brides are cousins. Book 9. By the way, the pink hair girl, that is Sakura, the woman right here in the corner. Yeah, that's actually his ninth and last fiance. Yep. Book 10 was introduced Regina Babylon to the book, which, by the way, ended with her getting a spanking from the girls because originally they thought Toya stole their underwear. It turns out she did, and she got spanked by them because she's the body of a child. Yep. Book 11. And book number 12. Yes. Now, one thing interesting, though, about each book cover is that a lot of the time, usually, is Toya holding the smartphone. Though, starting with book 10, he gave everybody smartphones, which not a bad idea to do. No, it doesn't have the same functions as his phone. Now, I also got Konosuba. Yes, I have Konosuba. Starting with book 6, because I read book 5 digitally, so I figured out if I want to continue reading more, read from book 6. This one introduces the beautiful 12-year-old princess of the kingdom that Katsura lives in, who becomes a sort of who looks up to him as a big brother. That's what she does. I get this thing here. Thank you. Book number 7. Book 8. Which, by the way, the actual thing about Chris and Eris, where, get this, they're the same person. They build this in this very book. I know it's a spoiler. The book's been out for quite a while. I know they also kind of spoiled this they spoiled this in Isekai Quartet. Book 9. Book number 10. And of course, book 11. This book was so fun to read. Oh my gosh. Yeah, basically Megumin's sister comes along for an adventure. And the thing is, she basically already knows that Megumin is related with Katsumi. Yeah, they actually hooked up a few books back in the series. I think it was like book 8 or 9. I think it was. They got hooked up where they started a relationship, and she knows all about it. She refers to Katsuma as Big Sis's man. She refers to Aqua as Big Sis blue hair, and I kid you not, this is what she refers to as darkness. This is not a joke. That's what's written in his book. She refers to darkness as Big Sis Big Boobs. I am not kidding about that. This is what a little girl says to a woman who's 19, who also is in love with Katsuma. And she's a masochist. Yep. And the thing is, Megumi's mother actually approves of this relationship. And then basically, the last thing they said to her before they left the village, yeah, they actually go back to the Crimson Demon Village in this book, just like in book 5. And he's like, tells Katsuma, hurry up and give me some grandchildren already. And Megumin's like, Mom! Yeah, I thought that was so funny. What a hilarious way to end this in this book. And finally, I have Saga of Tanya the Evil. Yes, this was actually, believe it or not, my first light novel series I was buying this year. Yes, here's book 7, book 8, no, 7. This is book 5, this one's 6, and this one's 7. Yeah, and that's all the books. Well, most of the books I bought, I also did buy this year one more My Hero Academia book because they released one this year, and it is something though I bought this many. This is not in the last few months. This is over the course of this entire year. Now, some of these other light novels series, did I actually go out and actually, buy them per se? Like, for example, like Sheriff Knight. No, I read the book series. A lot of these book series I read online. Dead Montreal Rhapsody, this one, I read the first, I actually bought the books physically because this is actually a two series, believe it or not, that I actually could not download on my phone. So I had to go physically buy the book in order to read it. I first did Cautious Hero, and then I tried to do it with Death March Fellow Rhapsody, and then pretty much I could exactly download the book on my phone. So I decided, screw it, just buy the book physically. And I'm buying the book. The book has a similar style thing with my smartphone. I was looking for another series like this because I really enjoyed my smartphone. But as of currently, this is actually one of a couple book series I'm currently buying right now, where I'm buying basically book by book, where basically like I'm like some books behind. For a lot of these books, basically I am up to date. Oh, there's one book I forgot to bring over here, and that's Overlord. I bought it this year as well because I love Overlord, and that's the most recent book that came out. So I figured, buy it. Though surprisingly, unlike the rest of these books, with the exception of the book, the 14 book for Is Volunteer Grows Angel, that was $15. All the rest of these books were like $14 for each book. In the case of Overlord, that was $18, believe it or not. That was by far the most expensive light novel I purchased to date. The only reason why it is that long, because the book is lengthy. It's the length of a regular novel. Yeah, there's a lot that happens in the book. And I personally can't wait for book 13 to come out, but the thing is, it's not been released yet at all. Nope, it hasn't. Now, for a lot of these anime, basically, I watched just this year, like, some of them I thoroughly enjoyed. Like, in the case of The Rising Hero. Like, this one, along with Cautious Hero, I mainly got into the series. I gotta choose these two because Isekai Quartet, because prior to watching this series, I was only familiar with two anime, Overlord and Konosuba. Yep, just these two anime. And luckily enough, thanks to that one, I was able to get done Rising Hero and Cautious Hero. Actually, Cautious Hero, then the Rising Hero. Yeah, that was actually a bit of a surprise. Yep. One of these anime I watched this year, I actually went back and I just watched a film. Yes, a film. Yes, it was for Goblin Slayer. Yes. Like in the case of the movie for Konosuba, they adapted from a light novel. They adapted from the fifth light novel of the series, which was actually really good. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, none of the books were particularly, like, some of the stuff I've watched here, none of them bad. I know that the only one I watched this year that did receive some flack online was Afria, which I have heard about all the criticisms for the series. The fact that a lot of the stuff was cut off from it, and the fact what the criticism the pilot had by cutting out basically the opening chapter of the series, by cutting out exactly why the heck the characters were even there in the first place. I mean, the main reason why I got into the series was because of the premise. That was mainly the reason why. And of course, like a lot of these series, I did watch English dub. The only ones I watched this year where there was no English dub available at all these series, yes. I would say the first one like this was Witchcraft Works. That was the first one. Yeah, this one does not have a dub, surprisingly. Yeah, it's unknown why this one doesn't have a dub, but it does. This one. Here's another one. My Wife's Still Got President. This one, there is a dub, but it's not available yet. Yeah, they announced it, but it hasn't been released yet. And plus, the thing with this series is, I got to this series, despite being 24 episodes, I got to this series in one day. Excuse me, because each episode is like 8 minutes long, and the OVA for the series is like 10 minutes, which, yeah, I basically breezed the series pretty quickly. Yeah. Another one where there's no dub for this one is, let's see, aside from those two, there's also Amari Himari. Yeah, this one does not have a dub. Unknown why it doesn't have a dub, it just doesn't. The only other one I come across where it has no dub is Val X Love. That was one of the more recent ones. Now you're probably asking, okay, what about Konosuba Love is War? There is a dub, but only the second season was dubbed. As far as I can tell, there has been no official explanation of why Funimation started with just not Funimation. They're not the ones dubbing; they're the ones releasing the streaming service, but it's merely Aniplex America. Unknown why they started with season two. I'm hoping that because there's been English cover release for season one, maybe we might get a chance to see an English dub for season one. I hope so. They finished up season one, so why not do a dub for season two? Why not do season one? Who knows? But at least most of the series that came up this year, I was able to watch everything dubbed. Arya Scar and Ammo, with this one, like some other series, I watched the whole main series dubbed, but the OVA, the sole OVA the series had, I had to watch it sub because no dub available. This one was a pretty fun series to watch. Oh yeah, I mean I love the premise of the series. Like every single character is some famous person. Like Arya herself, she's the great granddaughter of Sherlock Holmes. Rinko Mine, the daughter of Lupin the Third and Virginia Mine. The main character is the son of a famous samurai, which I'm not familiar with it. With him, there's also a son of Joan of Arc in the series, who has become a Clickbeard. Though it's shame she's only appears for like 2 episodes in the series. One of those series I found to be really fun. Now, Doctor Stone, I mainly got into it mainly because Justin Brenner's in the series, and I figured out why to give it a look because the series. Well, for one thing, there's new season coming next year, which I believe the season is starting out next month. Believe it or not, yes. Though, luckily, the first season was entirely dubbed. I watched entirely the streaming service, and this series was pure fun to watch. With this one, I read the entire manga first, then watched the anime. Yeah, that's what I do a lot of the one basically based on manga. Love Tyrant is one of those few I kind of wish it was another season for this one because there's still a ton of sword material they could adapt from, but nope, they didn't want to finish. A lot of these ones basically are based on manga. I mean, I would say from 26 to 45. The only ones are based upon, let's say, light novels. Not many of them. Basically, Resident Hero, Afria, Sheriffville Knight, Death March Rebel Rhapsody. After that, the next one was Doctor Stone, Aztec War, and that's Aztec War. Next one was not until Montago Doctor. Yeah, that one was surprisingly the most recent one. Sarah for the End was a manga. Yeah, most of these ones are manga. Like, here's one's based on manga. Amari Himari, Quintuplets, Love Tyrant, Uzi Guitar One Saying Out, Freezing. This was an interesting one. Though it's a series that no one talks about when it comes to anime. Yeah, this one I think has a great dub cast, and I think the anime did a great job. I still think for this one they could do another season for. There's plenty of source material for this to do at least one more season this one. But so far, nope, they never did. And this is something quite strange though for this one. The first season's OVAs, those are dubbed. The second season, nope, they're not. Unknown why they're not dubbed. It's just particularly quite weird. Seraph the End was an interesting series. This one I actually have not watched the OVA for this one because it was a pretty good series. I like the ending of it. The only problem with the OVA is it takes place prior to this last arc of the series, which was really good. And here's a shocker: it aired like 5 years ago. Yes, out of everything that I watched this year, most of everything I watched this year only aired like in the last 10 years. The other ones that didn't were Rema Half, Inuyasha, Mermaid Saga. Um, let's see, what were the other ones? Claymore, the three Dragon Ball series, and that's it. Yeah, there were a few that actually started just recently. Like there was a couple of them that basically aired just last year, and that was Cautious Hero and Valak's Love. Yeah, these two aired just last year. The only ones basically I watched that aired just this year have been just Monster Doctor, of course, Yoshima Half and Princess, and Uzaki One Hang Up. Two of these ones I did regular reviews for. Yoshima Half Princess, Princess Half Demon. This one I'm still doing reviews for. In the case of Uzaki One Hang Up, this one just wrapped up its first season of the show. So, and look up, there's a second season coming out. I'm really happy with that. Kaguya-sama Love is War. This one, well, I was basically watching the dub. Now, I pretty much got the whole second season dub done by the time I got to the last episode. the last episode that wasn't released yet, so I waited to dub release and I watched it. I did a review for like a regular review. Yep. In the case of Battle X Up and Neuron Corey, I just got these ones purely because of how short they were, and I just found them interesting. Neuron Corey, this one I found to be so interesting, and the way the series ended, it left it open to do another season. Now, it's been a few years. There's been rumors. This is one of those series where rumors abound. There's going to be a season 2, but nothing's been official yet for this one. But if you ever get a chance to watch the series, it is pure fun to watch. Yes, the main thing about the series is the fact that almost every single girl who pops in the series, with the exception of the main character's sister, has got a thing for him, obviously. And this one involves talking cats. Great premise. I mean, if you're a cat lover, you would love this anime because cats are the primary focus of the series. They're not the main characters per se, but it's just pure fun to watch. And plus, also Monica Reels in the series, so why not check it out? Yep. There was one that was very similar to this one, sort of a slice of life mixed with some magic. Love Tyrants. Oh yeah, another one Monica Reel. And this is another one I found to be pure fun to watch. The thing is, unlike in the case of the series Meow Love, this one actually has just a few characters in love with him. There was implied his sister's got a thing for him too. Her name is Aqua, believe it or not. Yes. Though, interesting thing when it comes to all these anime. Now, Nankoi, aka Meow Love, this is the only anime I have ever watched where the people who dub it actually keep the honorifics in the dub, which I found to be quite interesting. I've never seen anime do this before. Now I've seen some other anime keep some characters for the characters like honorifics, like Deku for the Bakudo as Kachan, or Camby for to having all the Straya crew for with Chun, because it's part of her character. Fine. But like every single character who pops up in this series, apparently for some reason they decided to have it where like every single character just has to further each other by honorifics. A lot of the time for really no reason at all. And this one's got like about 5 or 6 different characters in love with him. So a few of them are actually one is actually old, you're older than him. 2 of them are basically the same age as him, and there's one is actually younger than him. Basically, there's officially 4 women in love with him. In Love Tyrant, there's actually 3, believe it or not. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's actually a few of the series nothing really do with the premises. I thought quite interesting this year, like Dr. Stone, Seraph the End, that kind of had this one, but it was very plied. Dr. Stone, and of course there's Kaguya-sama had it too. Yosema didn't have this at all, and yet Uzuki-chan wants to hang out. Yes. I found to be each series I watched should be so interesting. The only series I found to be quite disappointing with its finale was Amari Himari. This one felt like, wow, they really dropped the ball with the ending of this anime. It's the only one I could think of where when the anime ended, they actually seriously dropped the ball with this one. It's like they did really good up until they got in the last few episodes, but they kind of basically dropped for bits and pieces of the manga and just came up with their own anime original ending where like, oh, let's have the one of the female ladies in the series go nuts and have the main character stop her without killing her. Now, in case you're curious, though, did he ever do this in the manga? No. I like the manga ending better. Because at least he's actually happy. Because he's with a bunch of girls. He's with like 20 girls. Yes. Yeah, Quintessence Quintuplets. This is an interesting one. Mostly it's like 5 sisters in love with one guy. But only one of them actually ends up with the very end. I'm not going to spoil who it is, which you probably were quite happy with the fact I'm not going to spoil the ending of this manga. Because here's the thing, the manga for this one just ended just earlier this year. And this is before this nonsense, the pandemic happened. Oh, yes. And there also been like a few new seasons came out this year, like My Hero Academia, that was actually which was last year. I was not happy with the fact that the last arc for the season, the school festival, this is the one out of all the arcs of the series. This is the one that had to receive the stupid delays because of the pandemic. My friend Timmy and I basically were not very happy with way self-contained with this one. A lot of the years ones basically were fine. Like Fire Force is still not finished the dub yet because, well, they officially released the first 15 out of 24 episodes. In Japan, they're all done. Here, not all the episodes were released yet. Just waiting for the dub to finish these ones. Excuse me, yes. What else? Excuse me. What else? Oh yeah, there's also a few of the series I watched this year. Basically, just happened to have another season come out this year. Like, is the Ranger Girls Dungeon? I basically watched this series back. I think it was like in April. I think it was April or May. I watched this. Yeah, where the second season for the third season was actually start back in July, but was delayed to October, and it finished up just about a couple weeks ago. This one. Mm-hmm. Yes. There was also ReZero. This one also started midway through this year, and this one did have the season start at the start of July. This one was supposed to start in April, believe it or not, and then was delayed because everything gets delayed this year because of the pandemic. Yep. But the season itself was really good, and I since then watched the entire dub. I did rewatch the entire season, well, the first half of the season, where it's actually officially been all dubbed, which I do appreciate that. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the fact it was dubbed. Though by the time I caught up with the dub, they only had one episode left to release dub. I eventually watched anyways. Also this year, I did something quite different basically when it comes to watching anime. Like, so then I was watching on my laptop here, or I watch on my phone. But in the last several months, I've been watching some of the anime on my TV. You're probably thinking, how is that possible? My PS4. Yes, because of my Funimation and Crunchyroll accounts, I'm able to I basically download these apps on my PS4, and that's how I'm able to watch all my anime. Like a lot of my anime this year, like One Piece, Boruto, Black Clover. I'm gonna do that today, anyways. Pretty much everything, even like the entirety of the season, the third season for Is It Wrong to Girls Legend? This one, I did watch the whole thing of it on there in the last 2 months, which I was very appreciative. I kind of forgot the fact that it could do this. I I was kind of thinking, wait, could there's? I heard a rumor that they had this app on there, and I saw it and I downloaded it right away. I just put my login information. That's it. That's one thing interesting though when it comes to reaching Crunchyroll, even CBS All Access. I recently downloaded this one too, where if you already have an account with this thing, you can download on PS4, put your login information in, thanks to basically using your controller, and providing the fact that it actually is the correct stuff, you're able to basically right away, zero problem. But as long as you have a subscription to this service, or basically you're borrowing someone else's login information, yeah, basically with CBS All Access, I borrow my dad's login information because I don't have CBS All Access. I mainly got it so I can watch Star Trek. Yeah, but I appreciate that it's like this. And like originally I was watching stuff on my, let's say my TV on my living room, where if it's on Funimation or Crunchyroll, I just use my phone and basically have it where I put on Chromecast and I watch it out there. But because the fact I actually can download my PS4 because it actually is working now, yeah, I actually took it to the shop to get it fixed because it wasn't booting up properly. So and it cost me about 200 to get fixed. But it turns out the reason it was booted up properly was because the hard drive crashed. So I got it fixed. I put a $35 deposit on it and paid, I think it was like 165. I think it was. Yeah, it was like $165 paid for it. Pay for basically for a diagnostic and repair for the thing. Yeah, the guy himself also put 3 different hard drives in this damn thing in order for it to work because mine had crashed. And I don't know how. I basically, prior to it crashing, I only played like a few games. Like I played a little bit of some Lego games. I mostly had played Assassin's Creed 2, and I had also played some of the Lego games, but that was it. I didn't play much of anything else. I went through a lot of the Assassin's Creed game because I had a lot of fun with Assassin's Creed 2. I was also I was playing my PS2 before it basically decided to stop working. I was playing Assassin's Creed 3 This is another game I really enjoy because I love the time period. It's one of my favorite time periods in U.S. history. The American Revolution. I was really enjoying this one. I didn't finish it yet, but I will eventually go back to it soon. But this has been a very interesting year for me. Basically, in the case of, well, buying light novels, I never thought this year I'd buy this because the other thing I was occasionally buying light novels, but not a regular series per se. You know what I was buying? You know what I did buy prior this year that wasn't connected to some manga was Sword Art Online. I bought the first light novels. This was about 3 years ago, I think it was. I read them and I haven't got back to reading the books themselves. I've been thinking of basically going back to it. Mm-hmm. Yes. So I'll conclude this video basically talk basically what I'm watching next year. Starting next year for the first like month or two, I don't know how long it takes to watch these series. I'm gonna watch Assassination Classroom, Two Love Ru Darkness. I want to read the manga first before I finish watching anime. Absolute Duo. These four anime are coming first this next year. Unlike the case when I started 2019, where there was actually a couple of the anime I was playing that I actually watched this year. One was Goblin Slayer and My Bride is Mermaid. These two I actually wanted to start in 2019, but I didn't get a chance to do it just this year because I spent most of the year watching Case Closed. And this year I'm not making that mistake ever again. Making sure that I go through shorter series. You probably had noticed though a lot of the series I watched this year are not very long, with the exception of a few. I mostly watch them just to get done other stuff too. It's most like background so I get some reading done. But I still enjoy watching them. They're pure fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. Was there anything else? Mm. Well, with the exception of those four anime, there's not really much else anime. Those four anime are definitely gonna come up really soon. Um, Oh yeah, I did start Ruby this year. I only got through the first couple seasons of the series. I haven't got back to it yet. So no, don't ask me when I'm gonna get back to it. I will eventually get back to it. There are a few others I would love to get into, but there was actually a couple of them I was gonna get into this year, like Maricoa Phantom World. I decided I did this one this year because I couldn't find a light novel for this one. It was also kind of the same thing with another series. Sentima. Yeah, this one for some reason I knew a light novel was adapted, but here was the problem. There was nothing online for it, and there was no English release for the series. Because I like to basically see what they changed in the actual book itself. Because starting with basically Monster Doctor, you probably noticed though, like unlike previously when I was reviewing series, I just basically reviewed these episodes because they're from this book. But what I did with this one, I did something uniquely different. I read one light novel and then I watched the episodes adapted from it. I'm gonna go and doing this practice forward just so I can basically remember a lot of the stuff a lot better and give everybody a lot better review when it comes to this series and basically discuss what was changed in the actual of the book itself. So I'm not basically guessing half the time or going back to reread it basically to discuss it. Yes. So also, aside from those four anime I'm going to get into next year, if you saw my video I did of 2021 anime looking forward to watch next year, why left off in that video? That's what I'm going to watch next year. A lot of anime, and it's going to be a very packed year when it comes to anime. Oh my gosh. Even movies. Providing the fact nothing gets delayed again. I hope not. I seriously hope not. Mhm. Yes. I've been talking long enough, so I just end this video. So next video will be a comic corner discussing X-Men. Okay, next video. Bye.